Good morning, and welcome to this pajama devotional. I love sports. I love playing sports, I love watching sports, and a whole different variety of them. And I love the lessons that I can learn in sports. It's not a given that I will learn all the lessons or that I'll keep them all, but I love the lessons that I can learn in sport. And one of the greatest lessons is that in sports, you have an opportunity to try something and to fail at it way more than you succeed. In sports, you will more often fail than you succeed. And you just keep trying. You just keep swinging the bat. You just keep taking the shots. You stand in the net and you keep trying to make the saves. I think we all can do with learning to fail and to get up again and to try again. I'd like to read to you today from Jeremiah chapter 8, verses 4 to 8. You shall say to them, Thus says the Lord, when people fall, do they not get up again? If they go astray, do they not turn back? Why then has this people turned away in perpetual backsliding? They have held fast to deceit, they have refused to return. I have given heed and listened, but they do not speak honestly. No one repents of wickedness, saying, What have I done? All of them turn to their own course, like a horse plunging headlong into battle. Even the stork in the heavens knows its time, and the turtle dove, swallow, and crane observe the time of their coming. But my people do not know the ordinance of the Lord. How can you say, We are wise, and the law of the Lord is with us, when in fact the false pen of the scribes has made it into a lie? In this season that we find ourselves, with so much happening in the world and around us that seems to be pressing in and really challenging, there is an opportunity that we have right now to check with ourselves and see if we are living in congruence with our integrity, in congruence with our values. With everything that's happening in the world, many people are being put in situations where they have to make significant choices and stand for what they believe in. When we are confronted, we can acknowledge our error, admit that we were wrong, admit that we need to change directions, or we can say, no, I'm not going to admit that. I'm not going to pay attention to that. That doesn't seem true to me. There's no way that I can be caught up in that. Why do we find it so hard to admit that we are wrong, either individually or corporately as a group? And I think we find it so hard to admit that because to say that we're wrong or to say that something is wrong in an area means that there are significant changes to be made. And we really care about human honor. We care about how others see us. We want to be viewed as good, as capable, as powerful, as honorable. And to admit that we're not those things is very hard because we want to be viewed that way. How does God see us? Well, He's quite fine if we have to turn around and go a different direction because we have found that we've been doing something incorrectly. God is quite fine if we admit that we're wrong. In fact, He's perhaps waiting for us to do it. He's asking us to do it. As often as not, when I do not want to acknowledge that I am not living with integrity with my values, it's because I care so much about the way other people see me, or even the way I see myself, that I don't want to admit that there's a significant integrity outage. But if I'm following God on the way, to admit that there's a lack of congruity with how I say I want to live and how I am living, God actually leads me into that space with a curiosity, with a joy, with a wonder. And I can enter into into that seeking out of what my actual value is and following it without any sense of fear or condemnation from God, but actually with the freedom. And yes, there may be consequences. And people are fallible, and they may do consequences in a way that's inappropriate. And sometimes that's a real fear that we have. God will follow us wherever we go, wherever determining our integrity outage leads us. And we want to be with Him. We want to follow Him where He leads us. I would encourage you today, if you have some time, or with this week, to do a check with yourself. Maybe list off 3 of your core values, 3 to 5 core values that you subscribe to. This is who I am. Authentic. I want to be an authentic person. Authenticity. Pick 3 to 5 words or phrases that really capture your core values. And then do a scan. Do you feel that you are living in congruence with that value? Check and see, is there any place in your life where there's an integrity outage? What are you willing to pay? What cost are you willing to pay to live in congruence with your values? And then ask yourself, when are you willing to take the time to make that happen? As we follow Jesus along the way, He's always ready for us to turn back like the lost son, and the Father will immediately run towards us and embrace us. Where are we perhaps living with an integrity outage? Jesus is willing to lead us down the path of turning towards the Father. May He ever lead you upon the way, and may it bring you peace and joy.